Welcome to my shop. My name's Guy, and this is the second video I'm doing of a series of building this, which is a curved front floating haul table. Now, if you missed the first episode, I'll leave a link in the corner for you to take a look at that later. This time I'll be putting a veneer on the face of the apron. I'll be building all the internals, putting on the back, and finally clamping it up and gluing it all together. Then I'll be making a drawer, and the drawer actually has veneer on the face of it also. There's a lot of work to do, so let's get to it. I'm getting ready to put this last lamination on here, and there's a reason why I'm doing it this way. I cut this hole and I'm putting this on, and I'll explain that a little bit later, but for now I got to get moving because this glue is not going to last very long. Now that I've got the piece back on the form, I can line up my center mark on here, give myself about 1/4 of an inch or so on both sides. I'm going to put my caul on here. Now the clamp's on there. It looks like I've got a nice seal all the way around. So this is the same thing as before. It's about 61, 62 degrees here in my shop. So I need to take my trusty old electric blanket again and put it over this, and I'm going to give it a good long time in here. I've got the piece out of the clamps and it came out really nice. I'm very happy with it, but I've got to trim off this excess on the bottom and the top. Now I've already done the bottom, I'm getting ready to do the top, and I'm just going to use a block plane to do this, and it's only going to take me about 5 minutes to get this down flush with the top of the piece. I've got to put my routing jig back on here to cut away that faceplate. I want a nice continuous grain pattern going all the way to the front. So I'm going to take this first, put it in there. I've also got a backer piece right here, and this is cut to the exact size opening. It's the same thickness as this, which is 5/8. So the template is back in place and everything is ready to go. And a lot of you are wondering why I've decided to go this route, and I want to explain that real quick. I want the drawer face to be seamless with the grain all the way through here. If I tried to cut out that piece all the way around, that thickness, the minimum bit I could use, which I did use, is a 1/4 inch bit. That means I'll lose a 1/4 inch all the way around that drawer. I was not prepared to do that. I'm going to lose 1/8 of an inch here, and that I am prepared to do. I've got a 1/8 inch down cut spiral bit in my router right now. I want to do down cut because I don't want to splinter this out. I've got a 5/16 inch collet on here, or a guide bushing, and I'm just going to plunge around and cut this out, and hopefully I don't screw this up. So I can pop this piece off without breaking that. There we go. All right, beautiful. So that's the piece right there. Now there's going to be a 1/4 inch cock bead that goes around the drawer. I need to transfer where the opening in the front is to the back here. So I'm just going to take my combination square, put that in there, bring that up, bring that over the top, and then I've got a large framing square I'm just going to put in here. And transfer that line to the back. Well, I've carried that line down the back and I've matched that up with the line in the front and clamped the two pieces together. So there's going to be a divider that runs from the front of the piece to the back of the piece, and I'm going to connect those two together with dominoes. So the first thing I need to do is, I've got this mark here, I need to come over 2 1/4 inches this way. Now that I've got everything clamped down and I know this is square, I can start marking out where my dominoes are going to go. I'm going to use 8mm wide or thick by 40mm deep dominoes. I'm just going to put these on here, just kind of eyeball them. I also want to put a domino slot right here for the kicker that goes between the back and the front piece. Well, all the mortises for the dominoes have been cut and I did a dry fit. I just put a domino in each top corner here. I've cut a couple pieces of maple here. One of them is going to be the bottom slide for the drawer. And this one is going to be the side guide for the drawer right here. I'm ready to do my glue up. I've got all my stuff here and I just need to do it. So I need to put these dominoes in here first and then just keep going. So I've got everything glued up. I've got all the glue squeeze out cleaned up. Everything came together really nice. I was really happy with this. This is the most uneventful glue up I've had in a long time. Not a single curse word came out of my mouth the entire time I was doing it. Well, it's time to start making the drawer, and this is the wood I've picked out for it. This is something I found in my cutoff bin, and this will be fine for the drawer front, because remember there's going to be a veneer face that I cut away from the original piece that goes on the top of this. So the first step of making this drawer is making the front, and I'm going to make that fit exactly in this hole. I'm getting ready to cut the dovetails in the front of the drawer. They're going to be through dovetails. I'm going to use my dovetail jig. You can of course cut them by hand if you like. I just prefer to use this. Now that I have the sides and the front complete for the drawer, I need to cut a groove that'll accept the bottom. I want to make sure that it clears this pin right there. Now I'm not worried about if it comes through on here because this will be covered with veneer. Well, after cutting the sides to length, in this case 11 1/8 inches, I need to put a dado in the back that's a 1/2 inch wide and a 1/4 inch deep, and that'll accept the back that'll slip in. I've got the back cut to length and width, and I'm just going to do a final dry fit here before glue up. Well, I've got the drawer glued up and it looks pretty good. Just to check for square real quick. 20 1/8 and 20 1/8, so that's good. Well, after about a half hour, well, more like 45 minutes of using a hand plane on the tops, the bottoms, the sides, pretty much the entire drawer, I finally got it where it's just a really, really nice, easy slide in there. It's nice and flat to the front, and there's a really nice, perfect reveal all the way around. I'm getting ready to glue this piece of veneer on the front of the drawer, and I want to make sure that I've got the top in the right spot because I get one shot at this. So I'm going to be using high glue for a couple reasons. First of all, it won't cause this to curl up like PVA will, and it cleans up real nice and easy. I'm just going to put it on here, and actually I'm just going to eyeball it. And I need to have about 1/8 of an inch all the way around this piece. So this is about right where I want it. And I'm going to give this about 10 minutes or so to tack up. Well, that's on there pretty good. It's right where I want it to be, and it's not moving around very much. So I'm just going to flip it down. I've got this piece of walnut here that I'm going to use as a caul to provide even pressure all the way across it. Then I've got these blocks so I can get pressure going the other way too. So I'm just going to start in the middle. Well, this piece is all clamped up now, and I really want to try to give you guys an idea of what I'm looking for here. I'm going to zoom in on that. Really what I want to see is I want to see that that veneer is flush to the drawer face all the way around. Well, I've got the veneer for the drawer front on, I've got the drawer bottom in, and this has a really, really nice action going in here. I really like the way the grain flows through the front of the apron, and I like the way that the cathedrals kind of meet almost in the center of the drawer. That's what I was trying to do. Very cool look.